It's main event time here on Annihilation. We've stressed before how good of an episode it has been. And now here comes the former champion, Craig David. Craig David has held that MPWF championship since WrestleMania. And now for the first time, he finds himself championship-less. Craig David let out an amazing revelation in that promo earlier this evening. Craig David said that he has worked out how to defeat the Black Giant, and he wanted to issue his rematch clause in the main event tonight. Tiffany said that they're going to save a match that big for the next CPV Bragging Rights. So Bragging Rights, as we said before, it's going to be triple threat. Craig David versus Apollo versus a Black Giant for the MPWF Championship. But in the meantime, Craig David teams with Antonio Goldman in this huge blockbuster main event.
Tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
And I do believe that this is the most popular superstar in the MPWF, Antonio Goldman. Antonio Goldman made a very mature remark earlier when he was asked does he think he should be a part of the MPWF title match at Bragging Rights. Antonio Goldman said no, I lost. I did not defeat Apollo in the number one contendership match. Therefore I do not deserve a shot at the championship. That is a very, very mature thing for Antonio Goldman to admit. And even though he doesn't like tag team wrestling, he's going to have to team up with Craig David tonight to try and pick up a victory to combat his loss at the Survivor Series. Antonio Goldman would definitely for sure love it if he was able to pin his former tag team partner, Apollo, here tonight on Annihilation.
They love it just to see one of us make it. Came from the bottom to the top of the pops. Nigga, London, Japan, and I'm straight up the block. Like a running back, get it, man, I'm straight up the block. I can run it back, nigga, cause I'm straight with the rock. Hope you feeling like a pimp. Let's go! Let's go!
And here comes the other team. As the protector of the MPWF, Apollo is about to make his way to the ring. As you see, Apollo is back to his normal self, as some will say, back donning the brown colors. Apollo said that tag team wrestling definitely wasn't his thing. The only thing that is on Apollo's mind is that MPWF Heavyweight Championship, and that's what he wants. He came out tonight very bold and confronted the MPWF champion, the Black Giant. He didn't give the Black Giant any time to say anything. He wants a shot at that MPWF championship, and he's got it at Bragging Rights. Will Apollo become the next MPWF champion? He has to tackle the dominating force known as the Black Giant. And now he goes against Craig David. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for this main event. Here is a man who will make you tremble and fear. Just looking at the mere size of this man, 7'6", 325 pounds. He's the MPWF champion. He's the blackest superstar in perhaps the history of the MPWF. He is the Black Giant. As we said before, he is one of the most devastating forces anyone has ever seen here. At the Survivor Series, Craig David hit him with everything. All his special moves. Black Giant just jumped up, shook it off. Like it was his job, like it was nobody's business. And then he hit Craig David with the last right, and that was it. This man is devastating. I don't know if there's anyone who can take that championship away from him in a normal singles matchup. But at Bragging Rights, it will be a triple threat matchup. And Craig David and Apollo would probably be smart to work together to try and take out the Black Giant. And they're obviously not doing that right now as their opponents here tonight on Annihilation in the main event. And now Apollo catching Craig David in the headlock with a punch there by Apollo. And Apollo now with an STO takeover on Craig David. Apollo and Craig David have faced each other in singles matches in the past. Apollo winning more of those matches. A couple months back though, Craig David picked up a huge victory over Apollo on Annihilation. So that was a great contest. Will that happen again tonight? Or will that happen again at Bragging Rights? Still, Bragging Rights is still quite a way away. About 3-4 weeks left before Bragging Rights. And now, Apollo using his strength there with reversing the suplex of Craig David. Apollo is a big man. I mean, look at the size of this man. He is rugged in every shape, fashion, and form. And a nice combination David there by Craig David. Now he picks Apollo back up. Craig David now going to send Apollo to the outside of the ring. Now nice tilt-a-whirl backbreaker there by Craig David. So Craig David needs to make the tag to Antonio Goldman, keep the fresh man in. I mean, also needs to make sure that Apollo doesn't make the tag to the Black Giant. He needs to keep him away from the Black Giant. And usually is, you don't usually think that Apollo would be the underdog in a matchup. But out of who's the easier target out of Apollo and the Black Giant, it has to be Apollo. I mean, the Black Giant is on a different kind of level. And I mean, Apollo and the Black Giant have yet to face each other in a ring before. And you saw how Apollo wasn't intimidated by the Black Giant. Apollo's a protector. He can't be afraid of anyone. Oh, Antonio Goldman moving out the way there. Nice kick to the knee by Apollo. It has a chop block there, taking down Antonio Goldman. And now Goldman in trouble. Apollo now going to send him to the turnbuckle. And now he's going to tag in the MPWF champion. And there's a big boot waiting for Apollo's face. And now the Black Giant picking Antonio Goldman back up here. And, oh, missing the headbutt. Luckily for Antonio Goldman, but connects this time. And you see how powerful the head was able to knock Antonio Goldman right off of his feet. And now here comes the chokeslam by the big man. And a chokeslam there by the Black Giant. And the Black Giant knows that he is in full control right now. Look at the size of this man. And now Irish Whip sending Goldman into the ropes. And now a nice overhead body drop there by the Black Giant. And the Black Giant now with a bulldog. And you see Apollo stretching out. Apollo wanted to get in this matchup, but the Black Giant just allowing him to by making the tag to him. And now Apollo now running. Oh, boot to the face. A vicious boot. Definitely a concussion possible boot there by Apollo. And now Apollo with an STO there. And I think Apollo is cinched in an Anaconda Vice. I can't quite see it. Craig David breaking up the submission there. That's a brand new move I haven't seen Apollo use before. I think that was Anaconda Vice, which was applied there by Apollo. You can see Apollo now changing his game plan up. Perhaps learning from Sasha Fierce from Survivor Series. Realizing that maybe the only way to beat a big man is to put him in a submission. Because it don't matter how big you are, if a submission is put on you well enough, you'll have no choice but to tap out. And now Apollo driving his shoulders right into the gut of Antonio Goldman. And Antonio Goldman is in some real trouble here. As Goldman tries to fight back out. And what a clothesline there by Antonio Goldman. Big clothesline there by the first ever undisputed champion in the MPWF, and Apollo fights back with an STO takedown there. And it's amazing to see that Antonio Goldman and Apollo are not in speaking terms after what they went through together. That's what the MPWF Championship does to you. It turns you against your friends. It turns you against people. It's just to be able to call yourself the MPWF Champion is what every superstar wants. I mean, these two competed at WrestleMania for the Tag Team Championships, and now they're mortal enemies just so they could have an opportunity to become the MPWF Champion. And now Antonio Goldman laying the smack down on Apollo, and that's a neckbreaker takedown there by Goldman. Goldman needs to make a tag to Craig David, which he does. Craig David now re-enters this matchup. And Craig David now springboard off the rope, flying Chuck, taking down Apollo. Craig David now picking up the big man, now going for a tilt-a-whirl DDT there. Look at the impact there by Craig David. Craig David now got Apollo up. Now going to send him into the turnbuckle. And now a clothesline there by Craig David, taking a cheap shot, knocking the Black Giant off the apron. Smart move there by Craig. And Craig David now going for a Starship Pain. And didn't get all of what he wanted. Apollo able to slightly move out the way. And that could have been the break that David wanted. And now Apollo going for a single leg Boston Crab. And it was a rope break. Apollo lets go of the submission. I have no idea why I continuously confuse Apollo and Antonio Goldman. There's a Starship Pain, and this time it connects by Craig David on Apollo. And now going for a cover here. 1, 2, and the Black Giant breaks up the count. What a main event we're witnessing here. Tag team action. And a nice shoulder block takeover there by Apollo as he knocks Craig David over. And now Apollo telling Craig David to get up. Apollo wanting to do this by himself. Probably should make a tag, and a big head kick there by Craig David. Now Craig David should go for a cover, but Apollo actually got up. Apollo showing his resiliency here. And now Antonio Goldman now with a Russian leg sweep, taking down the former MPWF champion. And now combination David on Apollo. Big combination David, big net breaker on the Protector. And now David picking it back up here. And Craig David, oh, super kick. Super kick out of nowhere. That's what pinned Lethal Mathematics at Judgment Day. And now going for a cover, and it is a rope break. A bad break for Craig David. The super kick, and Antonio Goldman, I think, would try to get Apollo there, but accidentally got Craig David. But nonetheless, David was able to recuperate. A nice kick to the face. And now Craig David again with that spinning DDT taking down Apollo. A great main event so far here. And oh no, dropping an elbow right in the back of the head. And now Apollo fighting back out here. Apollo now with that STO. The STO can come out of nowhere. That is a quick fix maneuver by Apollo. And now Apollo going to send David into the turnbuckle here. And perhaps looking to make a tag back to the Black Giant. And now just driving his shoulders to Craig David's gut. And now he's setting David up in the Tree of Woe. As Craig David is in trouble here. And oh, Apollo there missing the boot on Craig David. Oh, look at this, punching him right in the knee. Perhaps trying to stop that super kick from happening. And oh, Black Giant accidentally hit Apollo there. So maybe it's coincidence that all these accidental shots are taking place. When we just found out that the three men in the corner of that ring right there will be against each other at Bragging Rights for the MPWF Championship. And Craig David trying to fight back out of the corner here. The crowd on Craig David's side here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Craig David with the drop soap, but the Black Giant catching Craig David. Craig David trying to escape the grasp of the Black Giant. And now Apollo talking smack. Oh, knife hand chop right there to Craig David. Apollo should now perhaps make the tag to the Black Giant. And Apollo thinks otherwise. Apollo just told the Black Giant that I can do this by myself. I don't need you. And that could be a grave mistake there. And oh, Apollo runs right into combination David. Big mistake there by the protector of the MPWF. And now Craig David, oh, elbow there to the Black Giant. And now, oh, accidentally DDTing the referee. Craig David tried to get Apollo. And now Apollo grabbing a steel chair. And what the hell is Apollo doing with a steel chair? Apollo with a chair. Craig David wrestling from his hands. Oh, what a shot to the face with a chair. Craig David just busted Apollo open with a chair and knocking the Black Giant off. Craig David taking the advantage. Now covering the chair with his legs. Is that it? And Craig David and Antonio Goldman are victorious here on Annihilation. Apollo tried to win this matchup by himself. Apollo then went to grab a steel chair to perhaps do damage to Craig David before Bragging Rights. But Craig David saw it coming, grabbed the chair, busted Apollo open, and Craig David and Antonio Goldman are victorious in this tag team matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an action-packed edition of Annihilation. My name is DJ Johnny Feelgood, and I'm signing out. Thank you for watching Annihilation, and don't forget to tune into next week's show. Don't forget to tune in to Superstars, and tune into our next event, War.